How's it going, guys? As per usual, the Springboks have announced their squad early and they've made a couple of changes. Nothing too major. I want to break it down. Please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. Let's get into it. So, like I said, there hasn't been many changes when it comes down to the Springboks. They are keeping the core of the squad. We have seen Ox Nché come back into the fold, and he is going to be starting alongside Malcolm Marx and Thomas du Toit. In the last game, he was due to start, but because he picked up a little niggle, he ended up being replaced prior to the game. So it is lovely to see him come back in. It's definitely a big boost to have a monster like him, quite possibly the best loosehead prop in the world, starting up against Argentina. So it's definitely a big one. But otherwise, the other replacements that are here are nothing major. We do have Jesse Creel come in, Grant Williams come in, and then good old Bongion Banambi coming in as that replacement hooker. So, like I say, nothing too major when it comes down to the changes. We're keeping our core squad together, the team that did so well in that first test. Hopefully, Sasha is going to be able to mimic what he did in that first test and really put through another strong performance. Don't get me wrong, Argentina are going to be taking every single minute of that last game into consideration, and they are going to be looking at every single way to stop the Springboks from that happening again. But this squad is quick. They got fire. They are playing Tony Ball. Tony Ball is finally, we are finally starting to see the results of how they wanted to play. They are changing, they are evolving, and we are seeing a much more dynamic Springbok side. And this is going to be the perfect time for the Springboks to really start, getting a couple wins, together and really building on that. We are starting to see the newer side, especially when it comes down to the backs. Ethan Hooker keeping his spot, Cheslin Colby at that 14, Willemse 15, Kanan Moody really solidifying that 13 role, which I do think that is gonna be his role, with someone like Jesse Creel, who is an absolute monster already in his 30s. Someone like Kanan Moody is really going to be fighting for that 13 spot, and I think he is going to be phasing Jesse Creel, the bloody monster, the superhuman that he is. So Kanan Moody still at 13. We have Damian Dialende at 12, and then Kobus Reinach and Sasha at 9 and 10. Now, Kobus, he is getting on with his age. Obviously, we do have Grant Williams, who is far quicker, but Kobus gives us that sense of physicality. He gives that aggression. He gives that ball carrying ability, which is going to be essential when it comes down to playing up against Argentina. We've seen how strong they are. They can meet us toe to toe. And in that last game, Sasha really, he came out of his shell and really put in a strong performance, breaking records. I think like most points scored, by a single player within a test match for the South Africa, for the Springboks. And there was a lot being spoken about the best performance ever produced by a Springbok in a single game. I don't think, at least at number 10, I don't think he quite stands that, but my word, that was a good performance. He was everywhere. So hopefully we can see a lot more like that in this upcoming game. It's going to be played in London, and this is going to be a fantastic game. South Africa, they are really going to be coming in with their guns blazing. Having Ox Nché there is only going to strengthen our scrums. Having Ebenat Sabet and Ruan Ochea coming in at that lock pair, and I thought they did absolutely brilliantly up against Argentina. And it's going to be fun to see how this is going to happen. Will Jasper Wiese be able to put in another strong running performance? Pieter Steph du Toit, is he going to be able to dominate like he did in that last game, especially in that second half? Only time will tell, but this is very promising. We are starting to see a lot more players getting that similar game time, finding those partnerships. I'm loving Moody at 13. I'm loving Sasha at 10. That partnership that Sasha and Kobus has made has been absolutely brilliant. Mornay has taken another seat back. I think he is so good. He just needs a little bit more time to really start solidifying that slot, especially if Grant Williams isn't playing up to par. Mornay is definitely going to be there, nipping at his heels, showing, hey, Rassie, I'm ready. I am ready. Give me another shot, because guess what? He came on in that last game and he took his chance. So I was quite surprised not to see him start with Grant Williams coming back in. But yeah, this is a very, very strong side. In the last game, we did see a much better lineup presence. Far better lineup presence when you had the likes of Marks, Eben and Renoch here. We were weaker when it comes down to our scrums, so hopefully we're going to have a much better chance when we have someone like Ox Nché leading that line and really, really buffing up those scrums. So hopefully we will see. I think we had something like around 70% scrum win percentages. We should not be having that as South Africa. So Ox Nché is definitely going to be a big component in us being much more solid when it comes down to our set pieces. And then having someone like Sasha really pulling the strings, getting those forwards, getting those backs into play, bringing the likes of Damien Dialende, bringing in the likes of Kane and Moody, and then utilizing those wide spaces like he did with Cheslin Colby, to really start putting in those strong performances. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Will Cheslin Colby make another blunder? I hope not. I doubt he will, but it's just going to be one of those things. It was an anomaly for Cheslin. It's not something you often tend to see. So, it's forgive and forget. I doubt we're ever going to see that ever happen again, especially when it comes down to Cheslin Colby. Like I say, the guy barely steps a foot wrong. Unfortunately, when he did, it was big, but it's one of these, like I say, forgive and forget. But Willemse at 15 is definitely going to start, pulling strings. Sasha at 10, definitely going to start pulling strings. And we are so versatile. We're so quick. But Ethan Hooker gives that speed. He gives that strength. He's long. He's lanky. He's got those long arms. He's brilliant in the air. Same thing with Cheslin Colby. So we have so many different facets that we can play with. So many different areas that we can attack. And so many areas that we can dominate in. Argentina are really going to find it very, very hard. So I'm waiting for Argentina to release their squad. Once they have released it, I will do a full breakdown and a full preview of South Africa versus Argentina. But this is going to be interesting. I cannot wait for this game to happen. Hopefully it's another banger. And the hairs on the back of my neck are already standing. Just from seeing the squad, they're already standing. So guys, like, subscribe, really does help the channel grow. If you guys do want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.